So let's get into some of this training that you currently do
Mm-hmm.
before we touch on the cold plunge and the stretching. So I know you do training for triathlons,
Yeah.
right? What does a typical training regimen look like?
So once we'll hit a little after New Year, February, I'll start, I'll have a kind of a program that I followed. And it's just kind of in the beginning, first maybe month and a half or so, it's getting back into running, getting back into biking. And obviously it's got to be all indoors because I cannot stand the cold.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing it, like I'm not running outside when it's 15 degrees out and you can't bike in the snow really.
Mhm.
So everything's indoors, and then there's a pool at this other gym that I go to, and I'll go there and swim maybe twice a week in the afternoons or something, just to kind of get moving. But honestly, it's not fun until you can get outside and do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it during the winter months to get in shape for it and be ready to log the miles outside when you need to. But swimming in a pool is awful. It's just so boring. It's just back and forth. There's no music. There's nothing to, like I get so bored, and that's part of the thing is I hate the swimming part until I can get out into an open lake.
Yeah. When you're training, like not swimming, obviously, but on the bike or running, do you typically listen to music or
Yeah.
podcast music?
Yeah, I always have headphones in. We'll listen to music. And then you're not supposed to. You can't. I know specifically on the bike, actually when doing a triathlon, and they say you're not supposed to for running. So the first year I didn't, and then I saw all these people with headphones in. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna toss some headphones in for running, but yeah, once we get close to it, it's a couple weeks out. That's when I'll start, going out to the site where it's held, and I'll just do trial runs where I'll swim for the distance or half the distance, and then go to my car, do a transition into my bike stuff, go take off and do a bike, and then come back, transition into a run, and just kind of get the feel. And I mean, the transition is a tough part. Getting a wetsuit off.
Yeah.
It's tough, and you sit there and look at the time it took me to get out of the water, get to my transition site, take my wetsuit off, get my biking stuff on, and go. And you see the other people that did it in half the time, and I was like, well, right there is like 2 minutes of time, 2.5 minutes of time. So
yeah. What were you? I guess what originally got you into exercise and fitness? Were you always into it, like through high school and stuff?
No, I mean, I was kind of an athlete. Like I played soccer my whole life, like decently competitive, nothing crazy. But played club for Livonia for a bunch of years. High school, played on a varsity team. Got a couple college offers, but it was for like Division III stuff, and it would have been really expensive. So I, kind of forego that and just went the regular college route. And so I always had a little bit of more meat on the bones growing up, even with playing. But I mean, all that training and stuff, I stayed in good shape. But then once I stopped it and I didn't have year-round training and camps and games and tournaments, and then I got introduced to this thing called beer in college, and I blew up pretty big. And just struggled for years to really get back to where I was or be happy with my body again. And finally, it was probably maybe close to 6 years ago or so, like finally, got back into exercising. It was always probably because the soccer was always more into cardio. I'd much rather than like lift a weight, just go run a couple miles. And then finally, though, got into lifting weights. And I think that was a big thing that helped me maintain and be consistent, because for years I would just kind of yo-yo with stuff and was never consistent. But for 6 years now, I was probably tipped the scales like close to 250 at one point, and I've been able to lose a good amount of that and keep it off over the years. And it's just been consistency, and I'd say talking to the right people, knowing the right people. Obviously you mentioned Emily before, and I met her at the gym when it opened. I've been going to the Edge where she works since it opened, and over the years just kind of meeting the people there. And I think that's a big part of it too for people that are trying to get in shape. It's I know you don't want to spend too much money, but it's like health and exercise and learning how to do it right. It's one of those things that like you've got to talk to somebody who's a professional, because you can watch stuff on YouTube and social media and kind of pick up things here and there. But I mean, if you really want to do it right and you want to be consistent, you've got to work with somebody professionally.
Yeah, for sure. I totally echo that for sure. And it's been a little bit since I've been a consistent gym goer, just with my schedule right now. I'm a big P90X,
Home stuff, yeah.
Lift 4, Dig Deeper. Like I love the whole gang. The Tony Hortons, the Sean T's, the Joel Freeman, DDP. Shout out the former pro wrestler DDP Yoga. I love all that stuff, and I feel like I'm doing this program right now called Body Beast. Okay. Looking down, it's not working. No, I'm just kidding. But Emily always tells me I need to lift heavier weights, and I'm kind of on the cusp of considering getting back in the gym. But the thing is, I am responsible for dropping the kid off at school, and I can't like get to the gym, come back because he's here. I can't leave him alone. Right. So I use the time in the morning, and we were talking before we pushed record here about waking up early, and I'm up 4:30. I get my quiet time in the morning, and then I work out in the basement, do all the stuff before he even wakes up. Yep. So, if
I'm the same way. I'm a morning gym person. I'm there by, 5 a.m. on the weekdays. That way I can get my stuff done. I don't have to wait for anything because I don't I just want to get in there, get what I need to done, and then get home, get the kids ready for school, and then, start my day.
Yeah, nice. What originally got me into working out was a breakup, actually. I too was a athlete growing up. A lot of baseball and basketball, but I never lifted weights. I was always a little afraid of it. It was intimidating. But then, freshman year of college, most of my buddies all went to the gym on a regular basis, and I was always afraid of it. I'm like, what are they going to think of me when I can't put up 85 pounds on the bench? I was always really, really skinny, still pretty skinny, but I was always afraid. But this girl I was dating in freshman year of college, she broke up with me, and I was just like, I need to do something. I was just kicking my own butt. So I went and worked out with those guys, and shout out my buddies who I've been friends with since like 5-6 years old, still friends to this day. They kind of walked me through everything, like how to do everything. And I felt, like you said, the community was so important for me, especially going in, because like, I felt like there was this like safety blanket. Like if these guys are judging me, whatever, like if they're my buddies, that, it's like unconditional with them, but like they were like my safety blanket because I was part of something, and it felt really good. But you answered one of my questions, and that's where you train for the swimming aspect. I didn't know you go to another gym. I thought you were exclusively Edge.
I would be, but I've been asking them to build me a pool, like just for me. I literally actually asked the general manager yesterday. I was like, so when are you going to build me that pool? Because I, was joking about, leaving and going to the other place I have a membership at strictly, which I would never do. But I had to, well, the funny part about getting into the triathlon was, like I said, I with soccer, I used to just like run a lot. I did lots of 5Ks, 10Ks, a couple half marathons, and then even did a full marathon. Which was awful. I don't recommend that at all. Training, it was, the full was so bad. Training was just so bad for that. But but then a couple months after I did that and playing an indoor soccer game, I tore all the ligaments in my knee. Oof. And so after I did the recovery and everything from that, I was like, well, like I like signing up for type of things and having a goal, something to look forward to. So I was like, but pounding the pavement for 15 miles isn't going to be good on the knee anymore. So I had to think of something else. And it was a New Year's Eve one year. And I just remember Michigan was getting their butts kicked in the playoff by Georgia. Okay. And we're at home, wife's already asleep. It's like, 11, wife's asleep, kids are asleep. I'm drinking bourbon by myself. And I get like an email from, this one company or organization that does runs and stuff like that was like, oh, at midnight, the cost for this triathlon is going to go up. You should sign up now. And there I am by myself, like I said, maybe one or two drinks deep. And I'm like, hell yeah, I should sign up for this now. Like, yeah, let's do it. And so I did it. And I woke up the next morning and was like, I don't know how to swim. I don't own a bike. And I just signed up for a triathlon. So I had to figure some stuff out. Yeah. So I know how to like not drown. I just didn't know how to like swim. Yeah. But yeah, I got a membership at this other gym that had a pool. I talked to a friend whose wife actually like teaches swimming. So I got a couple lessons from her, and went on just Craigslist and found a road bike and started pedaling away on that. And, yeah, done 3 of them now, and we'll do another one, at least one probably this coming year.
Nice. Shout out Craig from Craigslist. I wonder how many like hookups that guy is responsible for.